Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is part 2 of the presentation for the warm-ups for cycle 2. In this presentation, we're going to cover the questions and the answers that go with the first lesson for the week and also for the second lesson of the week. After this presentation, you'll be able to successfully complete and submit your warm-up packet template for cycle 2. Today's question is from lesson 5. What are the 7 basic fundamentals of government that make successful governments run and function? Before I share the answer, just think about some of these things. What makes our government successfully run and function? How are we able to be a democratic government? Here are some things from the lesson that I want you to keep in mind. First, here at the top is popular sovereignty. What this word actually means is that it is the people who have the power in a government. If you ever heard the phrase power to the people, that's pretty much popular sovereignty connotates. The idea that people are the authors of the way that government runs and functions is very much so true, even still to this day. Republicanism is the concept of where people vote for their representatives to run their government, to run their lives, and to implement public policies. This is what we have here in the United States. We're not the government. Yeah, we vote for people to actually run many aspects of our government, which inadvertently affects our lives. We instill in them a trust to reflect our ideologies and to reflect our ideals too, so that in public policies they might show really who we are and methods and ways that benefit us. Additionally, we have federalism. When you think of federalism, think about the different layers of government that we have. There's federal, state, local, and different types of minor municipalities. So these are the different tiers of government that run. Additionally, these different tiers enact certain powers and responsibilities during certain times to help and assist. Separation of powers is a concept you might have heard of before. This is the idea that government is split between different branches, and inside of those branches there's different powers that each branch has, and they exercise those powers at certain times and in certain ways. Additionally, there's the concept of checks and balances, which is where each branch has some power over the others. No one branch is almighty or omniscient. Every branch is kept in check due to the powers that are explicitly written in the Constitution and that have been applied over time. Additionally, the concept of limited government connotates the fact that government power is limited to an extent to protect our rights as individual citizens of the United States. And there's individual rights here at the bottom, which basically connotates the fact that we have rights as citizens that can never be taken away. If you think of the word inalienable rights, that's exactly what that means. So these are the principles of government that make successful governments run. To be fair, even though the United States government has these aspects in our Constitution and in our practices, to the level and extent upon which these things are present at all times is definitely up for debate and question. But that's why we're here learning about this in a civics and government class. Let's move on to the next question for the latter part of the week. What specific factors determine how different governments around the world run and function? So in this lesson, what you guys did is you looked at different types of governments that exist and persist around the world. So what we're going to do right now is just give you a brief list of some of the things that might make certain governments run and function a certain way. Before I show you the answer, just think about this. Why is it that the United States government runs and functions totally different than, say, the Japanese government and maybe the Chinese government and the Russian government and the British government? Even though we might be allies of sorts, we all have different governments. So understanding the key differences here is really what I'm getting at. First, the aspect of freedom. Freedom connotates the specific rights that are given to people. How free are the people of North Korea compared to us here in the United States? Using that as a blueprint or a guide, you might see a wide range or spectrum of freedom. Structure. Is it a person, a group, one legislative body perhaps, or multiple branches that run a government? These types of factors determine and describe how a government runs and functions. Leaders. Is it one person who runs a country? And is there a line of succession that comes after that one person or before that one person? So, for example, is it like family lineage? How are elections held? Are they free and fair? And the transfer of power. How is power transferred from one leader to the next? The people themselves. How do people participate in the governmental processes of a country? Do they push back against their government? Are they allowed to? Or do they have to be conciliatory and, of course, listen to every aspect of government? History. History determines how governments function. The types of wars, the types of connections, types of trade, types of resources, and the types of contributions countries have made determines and describes their government. And down here at the bottom, culture. How do the citizens of a country look at patriotism, aspects of allegiance, and how do they handle responsibilities, if they have any, that have been allocated to them by the government? These factors together combine to form our rationale for how we will be classifying governments around the world. So there you have it. There are the answers to the question of the day. Once again, please remember to complete the template fully and to submit on Google Classroom for full credit by the deadline. Thank you very much.